Hey everyone, this is Max from cgmax7.com, and in this video I will explain about UV mapping workflow in Maya 2014. So when you completed a 3D model, then you go for the texturing part. So before texturing you have to apply for the UV mapping, and what exactly it means by that, your model will be flattened out as a 2D image, and then you apply some texture on that 2D image which will be appears on your 3D model. So in this video I will work with Maya primitives, and I'll try to cover up the tools of UV mapping as much as I can, but let's get started. So I create this primitive by holding down shift and right click and go to polycube, and it will appear here, and at 5. And to open this UV texture mapping, we go to edit UVs and UV texture editor, and this window will pop out. And you can also go to the outliner, then go to the panels, and go to the UV texture editor. Well, I found this is the easy way to see the UV textures, so I click on this, and you can see this is the default UV texture we will get by this from Maya. But this is not the only way to see the UV texture. We can select this cube, and we can go to create UVs and do some projections on it. So I just undock this window, and we have some couple of options over here. First we have planar mapping, cylindrical, spherical, automatic, and some more. So we basically not cover all, but we'll go with the automatic mapping first, and it's by default its planes are 6. Now we have we can see the 4-sided. I think 4-sided will be enough for this cube, so I will select the 4-side and hit project. And what exactly it's doing, it's projecting to that cube, and that projection is coming over here. So I just close this window, and to see the shaded view of this UV texture, go to image and shade UVs. Now it will pop out like this. Now if I select this face and put some textures on this face, that will appear over here in this face, like this one. And if I apply some texture over here, that will be appears over here. So I go to the object, select, and let's see over here what's going on over here. So in here we can see we have a perfect square, and this is the square where you most of the time you spend on it. There are some couple of options like multi-tile textures and PSD linking, which is pretty advanced, and it's also cover up the texturing part, but in this video we will just cover up the UV. So what in this square, what you want to do is select this face, and let's put it outside right now. Let's see what's going on over here right now. So in this square you can see it's 0 to 1 and 0 to 1. So this is the V and this is the U. So these are your UVs and these are the UV points, and we can move them, we can rotate them if we want. Let's select 2, and we can rotate by E, and we can scale as well. Now there are some couple of tools over here which we talk about that in a later moment. Also there are some rules that you want to know, that I will like to explain the rules first. For example, if your UVs are overlapping like this, don't make it look like that. You want to make sure that your UVs are not overlapping to each other. And there are some situations that sometimes that if you select the UV and just like this. Sometimes the UVs appears like this as a red. Well, you want to make sure that it doesn't look like red, because that means that your UVs are flipped, and you want to make sure that your UVs are flipped as blue, not red. So you want to make sure that. So for this part, I'll put some material on this first right now. Let's apply a simple base Lambert on it, and I'm hoping you guys already know about shading. And go to the colors, file, and just select 3D texture here. Let's go to source images. Yeah, there. So I already downloaded some checkerboards, and I recommend you to download these checkerboards, which you can just Google images and just type in the checkerboards, and you will get these checkers, which is pretty useful. And when you're doing these unwrapping, you want to make sure that you apply these checkers on your model. And why it's important, I'll tell you why. Well, this is the reason you want to see. The basic purpose is that this checkerboard is completely squares, and you want to apply this squares on over. I mean to say, there should be no distortion. If this is distortion, that means this is how your texture will look like. So you want to make sure that your checkers are completely squares. Well, in some cases you won't be able to create perfect squares. There might be some distortion, but try to make these minimum as possible. Also, you will see some seams, which is basically like a cut over here. Well, sometimes they are useful, but sometimes they are not. Let's say, for example, you're wearing a shirt and there is a line is going on under your arms. Well, that is called seam. So in here, seams are pretty useful, but sometimes, let's say you have a cube like this one, the seam is not pretty coming out as good. So we will deal with this seam a little bit later, but let's start with this. So right now you can see I already applied the checkers, and the checkers is appearing over here. Now if this image is too bright for you, you can go for image and dim image, and this will dim your image. So let's play some UVs, and I select this UV as UV and hold down my control, right click to shell, so it will select all the UVs in a particular face. And what I do is right now hold down my shift and right click and smooth and just unfold this, and then I can straight these lines by these 4 options. Up is for straight, this for 2, we can do that, this, that, and this. Pretty straightforward, anybody can understand this. So if I select edge, this edge, you notice that this edge is connected with this edge, and to connect these both edges, you want to go this option, which is move and sew, or you can go for shift and right click, just go for move and sew, and it will be just snap it out, and these two edges are connected now. So let's connect all the edges. Now notice something, that I was trying to connect this edge and it just snaps to this object. Well, why it happens? Because these faces are pretty big. I mean, this face is bigger than this one, so that's why it snapped over there. So the bigger this faces are, it will be snapped over there, and that's okay, because right now we have to cut these 2 edges, and to cut these edges we go to this scissor, just click on it and it will be just cut it out. So go to UV, select as a shell, and put it outside. Let's select these edges. Okay, let's select this and move in so. Yep. Okay, let's take this edge and go to shell and put it aside, side. Okay. Straight. And let's a little bit rotate them. You can also rotate this shell by these options, which will be rotated as clockwise. You can do the same. So select this edge. Straight. Shell. That's it. And go to UVs, select shell, rotate, select up, side, and done. And now there are a couple of options you can do. You can fit these objects by manually by putting like this, like that, and then rotate them, scale them if you want. You want to make sure that these edges are not coming out, because this is the only square that you want to concentrate, and you can do it like that. Or you can just take them out and hit this button called FL, and it will be snapped as per, you know, by these objects, and it will be fit these planes into this square. And you can see with this, it's a perfect square. So pretty straightforward and pretty basic. Let's do something more. So applying the UV workflow in this object, how are we going to do is go to default, turn off this grid, the perspective view, select this one and apply some materials on it, say some blend, or not blend but go for form, because blend mostly used for plastic, but form is good enough. And select these four. This is what we get from over here. So let's first apply some projection on it. Go to isolation and apply some projection. So my trick is to apply for projection. What I'm going to do is object mapping, get over here. It's pretty small pieces, cut it out, which I don't want like that. Let's apply something more. Go with the planar and select these y-axis and project. Now with the planar you can place something called these controllers and just click on this handle, just basically right here, and you can manipulate them like this and you will see the changes over here. If I change this like that, it will change like that. So it's projection from y-axis and you can see how it's projecting. And what we can do is now go to this edge, this edge, this edge, this edge. Just cut it out. And let's see what comes out. So let's select this UV, go to shell, still connected. Select. Yep. There you go. So this is cut it out in a different part. Let's select this one, cut this out, this one, this one, and what we're going to do is just cut, select a UV, shell, and if we look over here and smooth UVs, it's pretty mess. Pretty mess. If we do it by manually, this will take a lot of time, but it's fine because it's working. Yeah, I'll see you later. Project them by planar mapping, and let's say from z-axis project, here we go, go to down to UVs, shell, small UVs, and unfold them. See what's coming out. A little bit of issue over here. See what comes out. Distortion. So in here I want to show you some new tools, which is called the lattice and this smudge. And what it do is if I select these UVs and click on this button, so I can just spread them out as a liquefier. If you've seen in the Photoshop, I can liquefy them, or I can go with the lattice, this button, so I can manipulate, which I can manipulate like them. And I can move down. So let's go to the UVs, select these ones, and to shell, and unfold them as much as possible. So how much further we can go, and I think it's good enough for this tutorial. We won't go further. We can, but right now we are running. I want to make this video a little bit short, not too big. So select these, go to faces, select faces, and project them again with UVs, planar, and project. It's not important that you can only project an object. Let's flip. So just flip down. Select these faces. Go to planar and go with x-axis project. Now in here I can use this manipulator and can project from any angle I can. So go. Let me project that again to show you what exactly it is. So let me select these UVs as base, and we're going to project. So this manipulator can be scaled up. If I show you like this, you can see all things going on. You can move, go up, you can even rotate if you want, but we won't do that. So we select one and go to UVs and shell, and go over here. See what we got over here. So UV, and this is what we get. It's cool. These UVs. Okay, it's down. It's done. Go to now, if you notice there's a little bit of issue over here. I can fix this issue. Okay. So I think we're done with this, and in this you can go to UVs and hit FL, or you can do manually, put it down over here. I go with the FL, and you can stack them into one square box. So let's put another. So there are some situations that you want to copy your UVs and put it on another object, which is kind of similar, not kind of, but basically it's a duplicate of this object. So in some situation that you want to copy your UVs and put it in another similar object, like right now we have this one, and this one, and this one. Select these four too. And what I want to do is isolate first, and these are all basically duplicates of one object, and I want to copy their UVs into each individual object, and I won't do it unwrap all of them, but what I will do is just select this object, go to Create Panels, Automatic Mapping, and select object. You can go, if you want, you can go in further details, but this is just a tutorial, so I will explain. And select this object and go to Mesh and go to Transfer Attributes, which is over here. Let's go to the option. So by default it's sets to color sets is all and UV sets all. So you want color sets to be off, and let's say sample space to components, and I want to hit apply right now. I just select this object and shift select this object and hit transfer. So what it did, it just copy this attributes and put it over here. So by that means it selected just copy the UVs and paste it over here, and we can go further with this. I'm going to select this one and shift select this one, and now I hit G for repeat action. So again this object UVs were copied and pasted on this object, and again we can go the same, hit G, and the same, same. and it's done. So I think I cover up much on this tutorial. I hope I explained it everything, and